Hey, I'm Chris Westfall. It's a cold Charleston morning. We're in the middle of the annual election period right now as I record this, and that's a period of time, October 15th through December 7th, where people on Medicare Advantage plans tend to shop their plan. That's the best time to do it so that they can change on January 1st should that need arise. So this is the time when you check your providers, your hospitals, your doctors, your primary care physician, your specialists. Make sure they're in those networks if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan. Also, people on Part D drug plans need to shop those plans for the coming year because often there are changes to those plans. Now, my practice focuses on Medicare Supplements. The people who are calling in here every day primarily are asking for and in the market for a Medicare supplement, and that's where I tend to spend most of my practice time because they want to go to any doctor, any hospital, any provider. But every single year, I think it's key, it's imperative in my practice to stay up to date on what's going on in the entire Medicare landscape. That's why I certify every year for Medicare Advantage as well. Here's this year's, and then here's a couple years ago, the certifications. I just had them on my desk because it's kind of messy. Another year certification, another year certification. So every year I certify on Medicare Advantage. Why? Because I think it's important to have a big worldview of how the entire Medicare market works. Some agents tend to specialize on life insurance or annuities or Medicare, and I tend to run just a Medicare practice, although I have written all of those different things. So primarily people are calling in here asking for Medicare supplements, but there are unique situations where people would like to have a Medicare Advantage plan because it just fits their lifestyle better. One of those people is my father-in-law. He is a veteran. He spent time in the Army in Germany, served this country admirably, and now he goes to the VA for most of his health care, but he wants a safety net on top of that. So I put him with a Medicare Advantage plan years ago, and I'm still his agent, recertify, and have him on that plan as of this day. Also, another one was my mother. My mother was on a Medicare Advantage plan because she lived in a high-priced area of Florida where Medicare supplements are priced really high, and Medicare supplements there, Medicare Advantage there is incentivized such that she actually got Part B reimbursement back. So she was actually making money from being on her Medicare Advantage plan. So many doctors and hospitals, everything she needed was in that particular plan. And every situation is very unique. That's why this year in my practice, in 2017, as of the date of this video, and we're just in middle of November, I just looked at the numbers, and I've referred over 197, that's 197 people up to this day for Medicare Advantage plans. Now, I don't specialize in Medicare Advantage plans because in every jurisdiction you'd have to certify for every company in every state in order to be able to sell and market and be up to date on those plans. I don't certify in 46 states for Medicare Advantage. So I've partnered with a sister agency that has a focus on Medicare Advantage so that when one of my clients calls me and they're saying, look, this is my situation, all my doctors and hospitals seem to be in this plan, can you help me? I refer those people out, like I've done almost 200 times already this year and probably will surpass 200 times this year, to this referral agency who handles and specializes in Medicare Advantage plans. See, I believe that you need to be a specialist rather than a jack of all trades, a master of one rather than a master of none. So my practice is focused on every state in the union in which I have a license, maintaining the understanding of who's in that market now, who's coming out in that market, what their rates are, who's taking a big rate increase, how's the customer service being handled, who's coming in the market, who's leaving the market as far as Medicare supplements go. Now, to combine all that information with the same information of Medicare Advantage, who's coming, who's going, whose copays are up, who's down, for one person I think is a little overwhelming, and the people that I partner with are specialists in the Medicare Advantage arena. So when somebody calls in and I've got the certifications necessary to make the determination with the client, what's in their best interest? And I do that by listening. I take what they call a consultative approach, listening to their needs, your needs, if you're calling in, to see what are your goals, what is your health, what's your likelihood of needing specialists and providers that are maybe not in a finite network of your area. And if Medicare Advantage is something that you're interested in, it looks like it would be a good fit for you, we refer that business to a specialist agency that handles the Medicare Advantage. But again, most of the people calling in here want Medicare Supplement because of my internet marketing that I don't pay for, it's just free, putting out information to help people. A lot of times they say, you know what, I want a Medicare supplement because I want the freedom to travel. I want the freedom to go to any provider that I want to. I want the freedom of a diagnosis, not through managed care, but through my doctor's care. And I want to be able to pick my path on Medicare going forward. And some people come from Medicare Supplement and go to Medicare Advantage, or vice versa. This year seems like a lot of people are coming from the Medicare Advantage arena and coming into Medicare Supplements. Either way, we're able to help with one phone call, one solution. So I do think it's critically important that your agent have a big picture of the entire arena and not focused on only being able to do one thing, and that's why I refer out to a specialist. So if somebody calls me and says, look, I want a $2 million life insurance policy, 10-year term, like I just wrote for myself, and I'm not a specialist in that, I'm going to consult with somebody who I know in the industry has the expertise and the market knowledge to know who the best person is in that industry, in that market today, and then put that person with them. So same thing with annuities. Yes, I'm licensed and recertified to do annuities, but I don't focus on it every day. So if I need to reach out and get expertise on that from somebody who's in that market every single day, I have the resources and I know who I can trust to reach out in that market. I've only been doing this for 24 years now, but I'm kind of getting the hang of it. And I know that every situation is unique, and that's why it takes a listening ear and not somebody trying to sell you on something by pushing something down your throat. So if you call me, if you call my office, I'm going to listen to what your needs are, because you can't prescribe and you can't diagnose if you don't listen first. So that's been my premise. I just wanted to share that with you. Medicare Advantage has a good place for a lot of people in some big cities primarily, where their networks are all inclusive, they're comprehensive, and they can probably take care of your needs. So if Medicare Advantage is something you're considering, go ahead and call my office, and if it is, we can refer you to the top people in the country. Have a great day. God bless you, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.